Hey guys, welcome to Ditsy's Diamond Den. Dear Helper here. We're going to be working on my Aquaman canvas. I don't work on it too much. As you see, I'm not very far. I did finally get back to the left side again.
So today, Dear Helper decided that he wanted to show everybody his tweezer action. And this is so cute. You have a blue drill on your back.
I always have drills there because they fall off or they're on the bottom of my feet. If I don't wear socks, I'd be pulling drills out the bottom of my feet. It's crazy.
So I'm sure that you guys noticed that we have been gearing up for our very first event, Diamonds in the Rough. We have collaborated with a whole bunch of different small shops, and they gave us some fantastic deals on a lot of the prizes that we are going to be giving away. And Dear Helper made the Diamonds in the Rough video and did all of those QR codes. And he's been working as hard, if not harder than me on this event. What are you looking forward to most on the event?
I'm just hoping a lot of people enjoy it. They show their love for their pets, any type of pet that they may have. I just want people to get involved with it. I know when you were doing jingle drills, you had a lot of fun with that, and it looked like a lot of fun. But at the time, I just was not able to do it. So I think that's it. I really want a lot of people to do it and to enjoy it and enjoy a lot of the things that we've put together as far as prizes go with all the different sponsors that we have.
Yes, so the prizes I have been working on, and that was a lot of work, but I've had so much fun not only working with our little sponsors, but I've also had some special Ditsy's Diamond Den bling created that is going to be given as a prize, and I did a whole bunch of little goodies that whoever wins my bling stuff is going to get in their packs also. And it has been a lot of work, but it is so much fun. I am really hoping it's a success. I definitely want to do it again next year already. I know it's been a lot of work for you. I'm definitely thinking annual. I know you've been way excited. What so far has been exciting you the most?
I really think giving away the cool stuff that we've ordered, because I've been able to see what we're making as far as I don't even know if I can talk about the stuff that's in the giveaways or not.
Sure.
There's pins, there's release paper. It's just all kinds of stuff. I'm mostly excited about the pins because the pins are amazing, and they are by Bistro Blanks, which Ditsy does have quite a few pins and probably gets more than she actually needs because she's constantly watching that pin drop on Facebook. I think is where they do it, and buying more pins.
I actually don't have enough pins yet because I have one of each of Diamond Art Club's multi-placers, and they actually just dropped 2 new ones.
Wow.
And I don't have enough pins for all of my placers that I have for Diamond Art Club yet.
Oh, so those are the multi-placers that I hot glue onto the pins, correct?
Yes.
And I just realized I do not have my glasses on. I can't believe I can even see this.
Well, that's pretty amazing. You must have grown younger.
Yeah, right. I'm growing younger, people. I'm not.
All right, can you see a little bit better now?
Yes. Now I can see.
So, yeah, we are very excited about this. So, I know that you absolutely love our dogs, even though you always say they just call you, they think of you as the feeder.
The feeder. I'm their feeder. They're like, hey, feeder, wake up and do your job.
Yes. So I know that. What kind of dogs did you have when you were growing up? Were they always big dogs, medium dogs?
I would say medium to large. I couldn't even tell you what they were. They were mutts as far as I knew.
Nothing wrong with mutts.
No, nothing at all. But I can't say it was any particular type of breed or anything like that.
Did you ever not have any animals?
No, I mean with my dad, because my parents were split when I was younger. So living with my dad, we had cats. Living with my mom, we had dogs.
Did you ever have like a favorite? Like I know you're not an only child. You had so many
No.
brothers and sisters. But was any of the animals, did you consider any of them like your pet? Or were they
Um,
just family pets?
I think what I would have considered my pet, which actually wasn't my pet, was my horse. But it was not mine. It was my uncle's and my cousin Misty. So, but I still felt the horse that I rode all the time was mine, even though I did not own it.
And see, that's one thing I've never understood is because I was raised around horses and I love riding. And yet, all the time we've been together, you've never wanted to, like, maybe go horseback riding together.
No, I mean, I nowadays it's probably not something I would do. I guess
Why not?
I don't know. It's just no longer interesting to me. I guess I love doing the events that we do with like Hope Equestrian here in our area, and I like donating to them for food or riders or whatever it may be. But as far as getting out and riding again, I don't know. I just haven't done it since I was a child, so I wouldn't even know how to begin.
Oh. Did you ride all the time like I did? Like
Yes.
every day?
Yep, we had a little creek in the back that we would stop up with rocks to make a swimming hole, and then we get in trouble by the next door neighbor farmer because we're blocking his water.
Did you guys just like go around on the horses, or did you like work the horses, rounding up cattle, or
Nope, just
ever,
just
like, race
riding
them as
them.
fast as you could?
Yeah, but not on purpose sometimes. Because again, we weren't super experienced. Other than we like to be out there. Now, my cousin Misty, yes, she rides. I think she does barrel racing. She does all kinds of stuff.
So she rides like I do.
Yeah, but probably quite a bit more.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't get to ride that often, but when the last time I did go riding, I was really fast on. I was really surprised at how quick I picked that up, and I was
Yeah.
barrel racing within about 5 minutes again.
It's kind of like riding a bicycle, I would suppose. But again, they're big animals, um, and it's just been a long, long time since I've ridden.
I know you got nervous when we went up camping that one time up at Diamond Lake.
With those huge horses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in there grooming
Yeah, they were
the three
ginormous.
Clydesdales. They're Clydesdales.
They were ginormous, and you're like 5 foot nothing. So yeah, I mean it's not like I'm a super tall guy at what 5'7", 5'8".
5'8".
Look at that! I made myself the same height I am, or a little lower,
Yeah.
instead of 5'11".
Yeah, definitely. So, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about our favorite charity?
So that would be Denim and Diamonds.
That is the name of the event they have.
Is the name of the event that they do, and that is put on in our local area here in Southern Oregon. And that majority of it will go into, or actually all of it, goes into Hope Equestrian Center, which is, I believe it's a rescue. Is that correct?
Yes, they rescue horses.
And they also do riding. You'll have to explain that to me a little bit more.
So we work, his business works very closely with them, and then we go to their auction and we try to donate every year. And basically what they do is they rescue horses that have been abused or not taken care of properly, and they rehabilitate the horses. They get them all their vet work done. They get them really, really healthy, and then they teach the horses to be really good and very gentle, and the ones that can are used to help our local youth. And so what they do is they offer therapy through the horses for children that have mental or behavioral issues. So they work with a lot of children that have autism or Down syndrome or have been abused and maybe need help learning how to trust again. So for me, it really hits the important things for me, because I am a huge animal advocate, and I am also really big on advocating for people with mental health. Actually, I have worked for a nonprofit for children that had behavioral issues at a school. So both of those topics have a lot to do with me. Once again, that is Hope Equestrian. They definitely, if you find them on Facebook or anything like that, if you would like to send a donation their way, that would be amazing. They do really, really good work for our local animals and for our local children.
Yeah, they do. They do wonderful work in our community.
Yeah. So if you guys know of any really awesome animal charities that you would like to let us know about, definitely let us know in the comments. We are always looking for good charities to give to. So, your horse, what was your horse's name?
Honestly, I don't even remember. I remember she was an older horse. It was a female horse, and she was white and gray. Is all I can remember, and very large. Of course, I was a young child, so everything was very large.
Everything was very, very large.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're a kid growing up in a house, and you go back and you see that house as an adult, and you're like, this place is tiny. How come I thought it was gigantic? Kind of just like that.
Well, I don't know. That old farmhouse that I lived in that I thought was gigantic really is gigantic. That thing's 3,500 square feet.
Yeah, our house was not. It was maybe 1,200, 3-bedroom.
Yeah, but how old was it?
I don't know. It's been in the Southern Oregon area for many, many years, so pretty old, I would say.
Was
old.
it? Yeah, because I was going to say, the house that I lived in was one of the very first ones built up in Idaho, in the town that I was in, and it was built in 1918.
Coeur d'Alene?
No.
No?
No. Coeur d'Alene was a big city. I lived in...
Oh, that's right.
I lived in a little tiny town that had a population of 98, and I think the population is still right around 98. Very small town up in northern Idaho.
Gotcha.
So what first, so you had your horse, and you always had the family pets, but you never felt like any of them were really yours. So what was the first pet you ever had that you feel like was your pet?
Probably our cat Misty, that we taught to be kind of like a dog. She would sit, she would fetch. She was like a dog. When I come home from work, we had this giant field behind our house, and this cat would see me driving home and start running through the field to meet me at the front door.
He would sit on the corner, and the field was like 2 blocks long, and he would sit on the corner, and as soon as he saw Paul's car, he would start racing through the field so he could meet him at the door. That cat loved you.
Yeah, that was his hunting ground.
And he brought Paul so
snakes,
many goodies
birds,
for him to eat.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Misty was a really, really good cat. And that was definitely, I think that's the only animal we've actually ever had.
That was mine.
Yeah, that really took to you.
Yep, it really was.
Yeah. And then we had George.
George did not like me. He was a male cat, big old muscular cat, and he marked on my stuff.
Oh,
he was not awesome.
Just mark on his stuff. He
was not
George
cool.
would crawl underneath the covers on his side of the bed, and he would pee underneath the top cover on the sheets and then crawl out. But he would make it to where you couldn't tell that he'd even been underneath the covers. That way Paul would just pull up the blankets and jump into the bed and
be angry.
Splat.
Yep. So that's the only animal that we rehomed, and we rehomed it to her mother, to Ditsy's mom.
Yes,
and he lived a very, very long life, and after that, we got along just fine.
Well, I don't think he liked males because he didn't like Papa either.
That could very well be.
Yeah. But George was an excellent, excellent cat. And I love that he got to go to my mom's because I got to visit him all the time, and he lived until he was like 18 years old.
Yeah, he lived very, very long.
You know, I wonder if one of the reasons why you never really had that strong bond with your dogs was because you were raised with so many brothers and sisters.
Possibly.
Because you have 12?
14 in total.
14 in total brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I mean,
some of them
some
are
are half, some are step.
Yeah.
One full brother, I guess we would say.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have one full brother. So he had a lot of brothers and sisters. So he always had like a companion and somebody to hang out with and somebody to play with. Now, I was an only child. I was raised in the middle of nowhere. I was raised in very, very, very small towns. And I was always very, very connected to my animals. So this next part is a little bit on the darker side. So if you are sensitive, you may want to mute it. And I will have Dear Helper give you a thumbs up as soon as you can unmute it. So being an only child, I was raised in a very, very abusive home. My mother was an alcoholic. And so to escape her, I would spend a lot of the time with my animals. I had 2 horses, and I had my dog, and I had my cats. So my 2 horses, basically, me and Mangus would go out, and I would climb onto either Sugar or Blaze, and I would just lay with my head towards their butt on my stomach, and we would just roam around the pasture, and I would read books to try to like hide from my mom. And then Mangus would always keep me company because sometimes one of my hiding places from her was underneath our front porch, and there was a little tiny area where the wood had broken out, and me and Mangus would squeeze underneath there and hide underneath the porch to try to get away from her. So my animals were my constant companions. They were my safe zone. They were what I felt comfortable with. So I spent more time with animals than I did with humans, which I don't know if this is normal for only children or not. But yeah, I spent all my time with my animals because they got me away from the situation that I was in, and they would help me hide, if that makes sense to anybody that may have been through something like that. So, but on to a happier note. So I did have an extremely good relationship with my dog Mangus, and I always like to talk about how Mangus chose me. So basically what happened was this little dog, she was a pup. She was maybe 4 months old, just a baby, and she was a stray. And this was before we had moved out into Idaho, which was in the middle of nowhere, and we always lived in very, very small towns, but there was a couple little kids in the neighborhood, and this one was when I was like 5 years old. And so Mangus kept showing up, and she kept following me home every day. Out of all the kids, she kept following me home. And then she started meeting me at the doorstep when I would get home from school. And so my dad finally was like, if this dog shows up on the doorstep tomorrow, then we'll take it to mean that she's your dog and we can keep her. And Mangus was at the doorstep the next day, and my dad said we could keep her. And I don't know how he came up with the name Mangus, other than it had to have been a play on Maynard, because he always called me Maynard growing up. So I had Mangus from the time I was 5 until I was 14 years old. And this dog, like I said a little bit earlier, we grew up in the country, so me and Mangus just roamed wild. There was no such thing as leashes. And she was half wild. She was friends with the coyotes. When we ended up moving down to Nevada, she made friends with the coyotes, and she would run through the desert. She never wanted to eat her food because she always just hunted her own food. And this dog was just amazing, and it was my best friend. Um, and I kind of felt bad for Paul that he never experienced that. Do you, when I talk about Mangus and how like close we were, do you kind of get that now with our dogs?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm close with our dogs, but a relationship between an adult and their pet, I think, is very different than a child and their pet. Because as you become an adult, there's more things that you know you have to do with your pet. There's different things that you do, kind of like knowing somebody else's child and having your own child. It's still a child, but it is very different things to. I guess that, I mean, that's how I think of it. I know the dogs have to go to the vet. I know I've got to feed the dogs. I know, and you know those things as a kid, but you don't really think about it. But as an adult, you do think about those things, and you want to make sure that your animals are taken care of.
I don't know. I think that also might be a little bit of the difference between you and me is because of the fact that you were raised and you actually got to experience that childhood. Because I remember all of Mangus's vet visits, but we also lived on a farm, so we had the vet coming out for the horses and everything like that too. And so I was used to, vet care, and I was used to the cost of the vet cares and coming out and having our horses, hoofed and having their nails trimmed. And Sugar, my Shetland pony, was actually a rescue. And so I was always really aware of the responsibilities, and I had to get up, at 5 o'clock in the morning and get out there and get the horses fed and watered and taken care of, and take care of all the dogs and cats and make sure that everything was taken care of before I could go to school.
Yeah, see, I didn't have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
There was just the dog or an animal or whatever it might be, and I couldn't even tell you who actually fed them. If it was my mom, my dad, I know it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Yeah, see, no, I always had to take care of all that stuff because my dad worked at a resort as a chef, and it was not near where we lived, so he was only home on the weekends. He was gone Monday through Friday, and so I was the one that had to take care of the feeding and the basic daily responsibilities, clean out their hooves, brush them down, stuff
Gotcha.
like that. So I always had to take care of all of that.
Gotcha. See, I did not have to do all of that.
No. But you do now.
Well, yeah, now I feed them, and we both take them to the vets. I feed them breakfast and dinner. I trim their nails. Alicia bathes them because I am allergic to dogs, so drying them or using the blow dryer makes my allergies go absolutely nuts, so I try not to do any of that part.
So if you could have, like, any kind of animal, like shrink any kind of animal down to be like the perfect size, what do you think your favorite thing to be would have like as a pet?
That should be a pet, or that
no, just anything in the whole entire world, to where if you could shrink it down and be like, you're my pet.
Elephant. Don't know why. I just think a little tiny elephant would be the most awesome thing.
Like really small?
Just small. Yeah. Small, not super heavy. Just little elephant. Like, I couldn't even think of how it would look. Just miniature elephant.
Also it'd be really cool? Tiny dolphins.
Yeah, but then they gotta be in a tank, and dolphins should be free, so...
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if they were miniature, like 1-inch dolphins.
That'd be kind of cool, but still stuck in a tank. A little elephant could wander around the backyard.
That is true. I wouldn't mind having a mini elephant. That would be a lot of fun.
Yes.
What about the opposite way?
What do you mean?
What is the smallest animal that you can think of that you would like to make gigantic and make it into a pet?
A tiny monkey.
They do have huge monkeys, though.
I know they do, but I want one of those tiny ones.
They're called gorillas and apes.
I know it.
You want like a finger monkey, but gigantic size?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Nice.
A human-sized tiny monkey.
A human-sized tiny monkey?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Which people on here are going to tell me that's just a gorilla.
It's just a gorilla?
Sure.
I would like a giant hummingbird.
Ooh.
As a pet.
I don't know. That would be scary fast how they flap their wings already. Now just imagine that larger.
Well, I'm just thinking of the power with the wings.
It would
like
sound...
everything would like fly. Aren't they faster than helicopter wings?
Yeah, they're super fast. I don't know the exact speed. We could probably look it up, but they are ridiculously fast. And you just think of that as, you know, large. It would sound like you were
like the size
surrounded
of
by
a house.
Beehive. Just massive.
I think a gigantic house-sized hummingbird would be awesome.
That's scary.
You could ride it.
No, you couldn't.
No.
No, his wings would go so fast they'd destroy things.
Nice. All right, and so the very last one before we end our evening, what mythical animal would you want to bring to life?
Dragon. Non-fire breathing, just dragon. Dragons are cool.
No fire breathing?
No fire breathing. I don't want to do a bunch of destruction, but just the look of them would be amazing.
Everybody knows I love riding horses. I would want a Pegasus.
Nice. Pegasus.
Yes, I would want a Pegasus because then I can basically just completely even get rid of my car. I can ride it around town, or if I just want to like shoot off to Hawaii for the weekend, I can climb up on my Pegasus with my little backpack and head out to Hawaii.
That's going to be a long trip.
Is it?
To Hawaii?
Yeah, but it's
Pegasus.
mythical. I don't think they get tired. They can fly forever.
And super fast, though?
Maybe, yeah.
I guess we don't really know. I guess it could go as fast as you would want it to go.
I don't know. So, I think that is going to be quite enough silliness for today. I would like to thank everybody so much for joining our WIP and Chat. Please let us know in the comments some of the huge animals you would like to shrink down, or the mythical animals that you would love to own if you could make them come back to life. And join us for our Diamonds in the Rough event, celebrating our love of all pets. And it goes beyond that to all animals. Thanks.
Yes, thank you.